Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Holman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Holman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Dalton Henry from U.S. Wheat, and we'll talk about demand for U.S. Wheat. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean Talks, Ohio Lake soybeans, and we'll get an update from Kansas Farm Bureau. And in news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.net. Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KSSoybeans.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. U.S. Department of Agriculture is reminding farmers and ranchers that the competitive sign-up deadline for CRP is February 26th. This will be one of the most competitive general sign-up periods in history, in part due to a stationary limit on the number of acres that can be enrolled in the program. As of January, 23.6 million acres were enrolled in CRP, with contracts for more than 1.6 million acres set to expire this fall. The cap on acres that can be enrolled is 24 million acres. This leaves about 2 million acres available for the program. On Monday, Russia banned corn and soybean imports from the United States. Russia media reported that the ban is due to U.S. products failing to meet Russian standards. A Russian food and safety watchdog said that he had found dry rot in corn and weed seed in soybeans from the United States. We are extremely disappointed that the Russian government has taken this action, said USDA Press Secretary Kathy Cochran in a statement. According to the Farm Futures, USDA records show Russia took 396,000 metric tons of U.S. soybeans this year, but no corn, soybean meal, or soybean oil. President Obama's 2017 budget request to Congress included a proposal to cut the federal crop insurance program by $18 billion over 10 years. Kansas Senator Pat Roberts said the administration has once again chosen to attack America's agricultural producer and their ability to manage risk. The National Farmers Union also critical of the crop insurance proposal, saying we simply cannot afford to undercut the farm safety net. But NFU also praised the budget proposal for its proposed research investments, including $700 million in agricultural and food research. And in local news, the March Agricultural Survey conducted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's National Agricultural Statistics Service will survey approximately 4,200 Kansas producers to determine their plans for the upcoming growing season. NASS will compile and analyze the survey information and publish the results in the annual Prospective Planting Report and the quarterly Grain and Stocks Report, both due to be released on March 31st. As with all NASS surveys, information provided by respondents is confidential as required by federal law. NASS safeguards the privacy of all respondents and publishes only data, ensuring that no individual operation or producer can be identified. Kansas State University will host Cattlemen's Day 2016 on March 4th at Weber Hall in Manhattan. The day starts at 8 a.m. with refreshments, educational exhibits, and a commercial trade show. The program begins at 10 a.m. The cost to attend Cattlemen's Day is $20 if paid by March 3rd at noon or $30 at the door. There is no charge for students. Online registration is available at ksubeef.org. For more information, contact Lois Schreiner at 785-532-1267. The From the Land of Kansas annual conference and trade show will be held February 25th through 26th in Manhattan. The conference includes the annual meeting for members, partners, and farmers markets. It will feature general sessions, specialized workshops, and a wholesale trade show for all attendees. If you are interested in registering as a buyer, exhibiting in the trade show, or becoming a sponsor of the conference, visit FromTheLandOfKansas.com/trade show for more information. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Dalton Henry from U.S. Wheat, and we'll talk about demand for U.S. wheat. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's O-H-L-D-E seed.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. Grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the town center mall on Highway 24.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business, providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second-to-none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City.
Thanks for staying with us. We're in Manhattan, Kansas at the 2016 Commodity Classic. We're joined by Dalton Henry. It's been a while since Dalton's been on the show. I think Dalton was like maybe our third guest when we started several years ago. So it's great to have you back on.
It's great to be back on. It's great to be here in Manhattan at the Commodity Classic.
United Wheat Producers, is that right?
U.S. Wheat Producers.
U.S. Wheat Producers. There's one way we could look at things, Dalton. We could either look at it, the glass is half full, or the glass is half empty. And I would like to say you kind of look at it as half full.
You know, I think probably do. I mean, certainly on U.S. Wheat Associates is focused on export promotion of U.S. wheat and wheat products. And so certainly in the near term, on an export front, the news is frustrating. The strong dollar, back-to-back years of record world wheat production really make it tough for U.S. wheat producers to compete in overseas markets right now. But I think if you take a step back and think about where we were a couple of decades ago and where our opportunities are a decade from now, I think there is a lot of reason to be optimistic, especially on a wheat export front.
And you talk about some of the emerging markets that could potentially be big for us. South America being one of those, the Asian Pacific area, Asian Pacific Rim, area that could potentially be big not only for U.S. wheat producers but Kansas producers.
Absolutely. You know, I think that when we look at export-dependent industries, and U.S. agriculture for the most part really is, but especially U.S. wheat producers. On an annual basis, we export about 50% of our crop because we've got the capacity to produce so much more than what we can consume here domestically. And so access to markets is key, getting the right policies in place, and then building demand over the long term. And that's where we've really seen some exciting success, particularly in the Trans-Pacific Partnership countries, for example. You know, when we think about Southeast Asia countries, the rapid economic growth that they've been seeing, combined with population increases and an increasing preference for wheat foods, I think that's going to be a really successful area for us going forward.
And not only the TPP, but there's other opportunities moving forward. And what are are some of those opportunities?
I think that we've got to look at how do we address market access on a bigger scale, or how do we accelerate the pace that we're going at right now. I think TPP certainly is the big one. The TTIP, Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, that's the EU Free Trade Agreement, that's a big one as well. And then I think you've got to go back to how do we expand these two trade agreements and recognize that they're not the same as maybe past trade agreements where we negotiated with a single country and then we went on to negotiate with another single country. These can both be platforms that we build on into the future.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about other markets and other opportunities for U.S. wheat producers. Watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Thanks for staying with us this morning. We're at the 2016 Commodity Classic in Manhattan. We're joined by Dalton Henry. Thanks for staying with us, Dalton.
Absolutely. It's good to be here.
Building in premiums for Kansas, not only Kansas wheat producers, but U.S. wheat producers, that's a really big part of prices may be where they're at, but building in premiums that really help drive additional dollars.
It really is, and sometimes those premiums are hard to see in the marketplace because those market signals, all right, I mean, it's not a single wheat producer selling to a foreign country, right? That grain is aggregated, brought together, sent to a port facility, and then moved in bulk. And so, but one thing that we really like to look at is what was the average prices paid to U.S. wheat growers compared to their competitors around the world. And we've got a number of organizations that track those prices, and so we can make a pretty good comparison. And so, although you see a lot of news about exports being down and these traditional big markets that we don't play in a big way anymore, primarily Middle Eastern wheat markets, because those are just, they're tough from a logistics perspective, they're tough from a currency perspective, and at the end of the day, they're price markets. The exciting thing about the regions we talked about earlier is that they're quality markets, and they've shown a real willingness to pay for U.S. quality on a regular basis.
Well, not only that, but their economies are growing, which allow them to pay premiums for the products that they want.
They really are, and I think that as we look at Latin America and Southeast Asia, we're looking at parts of the world that really have a lot of potential for additional growth, that have, the world is probably not a real stable place at the moment, but relatively speaking, there's some stability there, and that gives the ability to start to grow incomes, to improve diets, and to start looking for quality products as opposed to just baseline nutrition.
You look at it and wheat's taken a beating the last couple of years. Genetics being one of the reasons maybe it has taken a beating over the last 5 or 6 years. But Kansas State, Kansas Wheat Council, they're all making progress, getting better varieties into the fields now.
They really are, and I think you and I have talked about that numerous times in the past, and the investments that Kansas Wheat Commission and the Association of Wheat Growers have made have just been tremendous in terms of the ability to accelerate the breeding process. And so, our hope is that can make progress on both a yield front and on a quality front, so that we can continue to maintain those premiums in overseas markets, but at the same time really focus on what also drives profitability for U.S. growers.
And that's having a product that other people want to buy.
It really is, and at the end of the day, we spend a lot of time focused on quality within U.S. Wheat Associates, producing quality reports or marketing on quality. One of the real advantages that we have in overseas markets is that we've been doing this for a long time, promoting wheat. We'll celebrate our 60th anniversary in Japan this year, our 50th anniversary in a few other places, and so we've got great relationships with those millers, and over time we've been able to show where purchasing quality supplies of wheat can lead to better profitability for them, and at the end of the day, that's a good trend for U.S. growers.
Some Kansas farmers will have an additional marketing opportunity in 2016 when high oleic soybeans first become available for planting in the state. Ag Processing Incorporated in Hastings, Nebraska will accept high oleic soybeans in the fall. Contracts are available, offering farmers a premium to grow the beans. With the seed industry's commitment to breeding strong varieties, farmers do not have to choose between performance in the field and providing a product that processors and consumers demand. High oleic soybeans are bred with the same agronomic trait and disease packages that farmers have in their existing soybean varieties. Because the new varieties have been grown in other areas of the country for 5 years, Kansas farmers can be confident they offer competitive yields. The soybean checkoff, with the rest of the industry, is committed to the expansion of high oleic varieties and their ability to increase demand for all soybeans. Recognizing the potential to revolutionize soybean oil, it has the goal of planting 18 million acres of high oleic soybeans by 2023. The oil offers increased functionality for food and industrial users, which will help expand existing markets and open new ones for U.S. soybeans. To learn more about where high oleic is available and how it can help increase on-farm returns, visit soyinnovation.com on the web.
Agriculture Safety Awareness Program, also known as ASAP Week, will be celebrated March 6 through 12, 2016. The theme for the week will be Caution, Safety is No Accident, and will highlight a different safety focus each day of the week. On Monday, we'll promote ATV safety and discuss things as the importance of proper protective gear, choosing an ATV that's the right size for you, and one seat, one rider policies. Tuesday's focus is on child safety. Accidents can happen at any time. Make sure you're doing all you can do to keep kids safe on the farm. We'll talk about tractor safety on Wednesday. Tractors can be one of the most useful and dangerous pieces of equipment on the farm. We'll offer tips to make sure you know how to keep your family safe around tractors. On Thursday, we'll focus on roadway safety. As you know, farmers depend on our highways while they grow our food and fiber, especially during busy farming seasons like spring planting and summer or fall harvest. On Friday, we'll promote grain bin safety. Grain flows very fast. If a person gets caught or falls into flowing grain, they can be buried in a very short time, about 10 seconds. By the time a person's buried up to their armpits, it would require 400 to 1,000 pounds of force to pull them out, and no one is that strong. I'm proud to be one of Farm Bureau safety professionals from across the U.S. who are spearheading this effort on behalf of all farmers and ranchers. For more information, you can like the ASAP Facebook page, check Pinterest for links to safety tips and programs, or visit the American Farm Bureau's Health and Safety page at farmbureau.org, then click on Programs and Health and Safety.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Kansas Livestock Association, supporting our members' business interests to meet consumers' demands. KLA.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall on Highway 20.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at beyondtheelevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second to none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City. Bending over backwards for you.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Sublette veterinarian Dave Seclosha testified on behalf of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association during a recent U.S. House Ag Subcommittee on Livestock and Foreign Agriculture. The purpose of the hearing was to assess cooperation between the industry and government agencies in preparation for a possible foot and mouth disease outbreak in the U.S. Seclosha, the operations manager for animal health and welfare at Cattle Empire of Satana, told the committee other countries around the world have proven vaccination is effective at bringing an outbreak under control. He suggested the funding USDA has for the supply of FMD vaccine that would be needed is insufficient. Seclosha asked Congress to encourage USDA to budget the funds needed for the update and modernization of the FMD vaccine stockpile. NCBA is involved in a collaborative effort with USDA, state animal health officials, and academic partners to develop a secure beef supply plan. The plan would help manage movements of non-infected cattle during an outbreak, provide business continuity for beef sector stakeholders, and maintain a continuous supply of safe, wholesome beef for consumers. Models demonstrate that an FMD outbreak in the U.S. could have a more than $50 billion impact on the beef industry. That is why the beef industry is working with federal and state agencies to ensure a plan is in place.
Good morning. I'm Cody Wintersheet with Paragon Ag Advisors. Well, now that we are solidly into the new year and what I'm sure many of you were hoping would bring with it renewed optimism into the grain markets, I'm sorry to disappoint, but the overwhelming sentiment in the commodity world is still very much bearish. However, personally, I'm still optimistic for the new crop year as we move forward. But there is no doubt to see significantly higher prices we'll need a weather event this year. So now is the time to be laying out the groundwork as to how and where you will be initiating sales and hedges for this 2016 crop. Even though things are very much doom and gloom, something will shake loose at some point and you need to be ready to act. Opportunities can come and go in the blink of an eye. This past summer's 2 to 3 week wet weather rally is a prime example of that. A couple of bigger picture items to take note of that could very well have a decent impact on things moving forward are the US dollar, which to us looks ready for a breakout in the next 30 to 60 days. And secondly is the massive short or bearish position the hedge funds have at play at this point. The grains have done a respectable job of digesting a tremendous amount of bearish news up to this point. And as we work towards the spring and summertime, the funds have an awfully big position of exposure if there were to be any headline changes like the weather. If you have any questions about the markets or would like to talk further about how to approach your marketing differently, give us a call at 888-452-8751. Thank you and have a great day.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.net. Kansas Soybean Commission, the soybean checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. KSSoybeans.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Dick Edwards is taking North Central Kansas by storm. We've been bending over backwards to exceed your car buying experience for over 30 years. Choose from one of our 9 different new car brands or from our second-to-none used selection. Currently, with over 700 vehicles to choose from, we definitely have the one for you. Whether you're coming from the north, south, east, or west, our sales and service departments will work tirelessly to do what's right for you. Dick Edwards in Manhattan and Junction City, bending over backwards for you.